Call order the Thursday, December 16th Planning Board meeting. I'd like everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Introduction of board members. We have to my left Paul Amatucci. I'm Michael LaRue, the acting chair. To my right is Phil Roy. We have Jerry Graybill on Zoom. We have Lee J from SMPDC. We have Tammy, our town planner, and we have Jennifer McCabe, the code enforcement officer. All right, I'm going to open the first public comment.
Good. How are you?
Good. Hi.
All right, so we're in our first public comment. If you have anything to say or, okay, then I'll close it. Seeing how no one, all right, so next is the approval of minutes for December 2nd.
I've reviewed the minutes and I see no reason why they shouldn't be approved. I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, further discussion? I mean, it's pretty straightforward, so we'll do a roll call vote. Jerry?
Yes.
Yep, I vote yes. Phil?
Yes.
And then Paul is going to be abstaining.
I abstain.
Was not here, so that is approved. Next is old business site plan expansion 565 Portland Street, R72 9-2, RCI zone, Route 4 self-storage LLC.
Good evening. My name is Neil Raposa. I'm with Civil Consultants here on behalf of Route 4 self-storage LLC. This is essentially the same plan that was presented at the previous meeting on November. Except we have added indications for light poles on the plan. And this also differs from the paragraph that was sent in the copies you have. After speaking with the applicant, he prefers to have a full light poles installed at the remote parking area, whereas my initial plan was just going to indicate security cameras and have the full lighting on the larger RV portion due to the fact that everyone had to travel through. But the applicant was more comfortable doing the full lighting plan for the whole, for the entire project. So that's what the final plans will indicate. For the plan changes, that was all we had, except for we did remove the possible well that I had indicated on there. So there's no well plan for this site anymore. We did go out and do a visual inspection of that culvert that's down the hill from the site. And as we kind of discussed, while we don't expect there to be too much traffic from this site impacting that, I did do an initial visual observation and just a general non-destructive testing, which is basically just me observing any issues that are existing at that crossing. That evaluation I did submit, and I'm not sure if you had a chance to go through it, but it basically says it's in good condition for the type of crossing that it is. It appears fairly stable. There doesn't appear to be a whole lot of material being taken away from the crossing due to any traffic going over it. That being said, I know there are construction vehicles and equipment using that road now. So what I would propose we do is I'll do another evaluation prior to the beginning of this project, just so we have that cataloged and we know what condition it was in at the start. Mm-hmm. Let's see.
We stop him right there for 1 second.
Yep.
Yeah. Can I just update you guys on what he's talking about real quick so you understand? So just to let you know, Coffin Lane runs through, and it's actually the end part of that road falls into North Berwick. There is a solar array going in on the North Berwick side. We have some abutter complaints right now, but it's not to do with this project. If you heard about them, it's actually for the Northborough project. So I just want to make that clear right now.
Okay.
Okay?
Right, yeah, that's why I'll try to get out there and kind of document what's going on there before this project ever starts, so we have.
And I have pictures.
Okay,
If you need them.
great.
Yeah, we've already been out.
All right, perfect. And I did want to point out that the applicant has not been able to get a hold of all the abutters to try and come up with a formalized agreement for the maintenance. So it kind of remains as it was last time. There's nothing on the books. There's nothing. I went through the registry records, which is kind of dangerous for the engineers, but I went through and looked and asked the surveyors to double check and make sure there wasn't anything on record as far as maintenance agreements, and there's not. So it's really kind of a good neighbor situation out there. Everyone has to kind of take care of their own piece. So that's where we've left that. And if he is able to get a hold of the neighbors and the other users of the road, I'll certainly bring whatever they come up with to the board at least at the final. And I'll be sharing that with Jen, even if it's separate from this decision. We want the town to be aware of everything we have going on.
And you have attempted to make contact with the abutters? Is that?
I have not.
Okay.
I left it to Tanner.
I got
To
you.
try and get a hold of everybody. And
Okay.
to date, to my knowledge, he hasn't been able to get everybody together. So
Okay.
I know I haven't seen any draft agreements or anything like that. so
Gotcha.
if there's any more questions, I'm happy to answer. Oh, we are still waiting on DEP review as well. So that's still in the works.
All right, so we're still not complete? Would that be a?
Yeah, are we complete on this?
The only thing you're missing is the DEP report.
The DEP.
Okay.
So you could condition it
Pending DEP
pending
approval.
DEP approval. Did they give you a length of time that they were looking at?
For the DEP, unfortunately, if once you get into the revisions of projects, and this one's a major amendment to a site location project, they don't have that statutory 180 days or 90 days, but they try to get these back to you in 90 days, which would be coming up in January for this project. So.
Okay. All right.
So
I don't
can
know
we
if
do
anybody-
conditional contingent upon
Yeah.
the state, and then also just ensuring that they do make contact with the abutters to have some type of, at least, whether it's a legal or a verbal, some type of an agreement for the road maintenance?
Or acknowledgement of some sort.
Exactly,
Right.
whether that's a certified letter, whatnot, I don't know how they do that, but is that
Something with a
within
return
is that
receipt.
within the realm of,
So you can do that. But
okay,
I just want to make you guys aware that there's a violation of code not dealing with this project for that road. So let us do our work too in
Okay.
getting that taken care of. And we'll be in touch with Neil on how to move forward with his part.
Okay.
But I think that Tanner, I'm just suggesting Tanner take a minute and just stay off that for a second. And I'll tell you why later. And then we can go from there. So just if he can wait.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the plan
Thank
anyway,
you.
just because we're going to have to
Wonderful.
have to
Okay.
wait for DEP no matter what. So.
Okay.
Great. Okay. Lee J, do you have anything to add to this, or?
No, the only thing I was gonna say is on the, condition of approval with the DEP would be that you might wanna state that the DEP approval be submitted to the town prior to the start of construction. That way, until you get affirmative DEP approval on it, or what conditions the DEP may have regarding any part of it, they won't start any construction on the site.
Okay. All right, so we have the findings of facts. So
Jerry, have anything?
we can approve those and then approve the conditions.
The only thing would be is the conditions ought to be stipulated on the findings of fact. So if you're ready to approve the application tonight with specific conditions,
Yeah.
then we can change the findings of fact before you sign them.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, okay.
So are we looking for a motion for conditional approval? Is that?
Yep.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, any further discussion? No, okay, roll call. Jerry,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
I vote yes, and Phil?
Yes.
All right. And then the approval of findings of fact, and that would be as amended? And that would be with the DEP approval prior to construction?
That's what I would suggest, and if you folks agree, then that's how the findings will be restructured for you for the
Okay.
next meeting.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
So we're just looking for a motion for the approval of conditions, findings of fact with the conditions as amended.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, any further discussion? No? Okay, roll call vote. Jerry?
Yes.
All right, Paul?
Yes.
I vote yes. And Phil?
Yes.
All right. And then just the application complete. Now we're voting on that. Right?
Mr. Chairman, my records show that you did that already on
Okay,
11
okay.
I
in
thought we
in
did,
November.
yeah.
All right, perfect. So then we're good to go then.
Excellent.
Yep.
Thanks so much. Yep, I'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Looking?
Okay, next for new business is conditional use expansion, 1 Sullivan Street, U4 8 SCI Zone, Corner Point Brewing Company, LLC.
Yep, you're up. Right up. Yep, just go up to the podium. They've got all your information. Do you want to see a copy of it in case they have a question?
Sure.
Bye, Neil.
Thank you.
No.
Bye, Neil, we'll be in touch.
All right, so just state your name and the location.
Yeah, so I'm Jamie Blood. I'm owner of Corner Point Brewing at 1 Sullivan.
Okay. And then just give us a little introduction to this.
Yeah, so we're looking to expand our space, our current space. We've kind of outgrown it, so we're looking to move our tap room operations to the center part of the mill building, the 2-story portion. We're going to add a small kitchen, so we're going to do food options and so forth. And then our current space will turn into all brewing.
Okay.
They already have they have an active building permit to be able to do it. I just want to let you know.
Okay.
It's been approved, yes.
Okay.
This is 2,500 square feet, is that what I read?
Yeah, it's roughly that much of an expansion.
Yeah.
We have about 1,555 square feet now, and it brings us up to about 3,870, I think, is,
Okay.
if the lasers are correct.
Right.
Just reviewing the fire department note, it looks like he deferred to the state fire marshal. Have you made contact with them at all yet?
I haven't. The building owner has been in touch with them.
Okay, all right.
So this is a leased property?
Correct.
Okay. Any issues that you know of with the butters?
Not that I'm aware of.
And we, as far, I have not received anything since I've been here regarding their business being operated. Jen, have you?
No.
Is there any, I see the police department had said something about parking in the area. Is that an issue there?
No, we had applied for a waiver when we first opened for parking. The back parking lot's been redone, so I think there's another 10 or 12 spots back there and so forth. It hasn't been an issue up to this point,
Okay.
and I believe Chief Plant said that we'll go through once the final layout of the new location or the new layout is completed. But as far as the amount of people that we're allowed to have in there, it's not going to increase dramatically.
Okay.
I think most likely we'll probably go from somewhere in the 60 range up to 80. So.
Okay. So is there going to be a significant build out?
It's not. No, not significant.
Okay.
We're putting up a few walls. We're building a new bar, putting in a new cold room for kegs. But other
Right.
than that, the doors, the exterior doors are already in. We'll be putting in another access point in the back.
Okay.
But yeah, as far as build out, it's not a critical thing.
Okay.
The only red flag for me is the issue with the state fire marshal. I don't know if that is something we can do as a conditional, or is that within our purview to do?
So today it would just be the application complete, right? And then from there, I mean, as long as we find it complete, the fire marshal would have plenty of time before we actually approve everything else.
Yeah, this is pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I find it.
I'm kind of on that same page with finding it complete and awaiting the word from the state fire marshal.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jerry,
Jerry,
do you have anything to add on that, or?
No, I read through the documents. Everything seemed pretty straightforward for, what they want to do and where they're going, so
Okay.
I'm all right.
Yeah, I'll make a motion then to find this application complete, awaiting the state fire marshal report.
I will second that motion.
Okay, further discussion? No? Okay. Roll call vote, Jerry?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
I vote yes, and Phil?
Yes.
All right, well, there we go.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jamie?
Okay,
Thanks.
next is the last public comment. Seeing how no one's here and no one's online, I think we can close that. And the next is informational items. Does anyone have any informational items?
I have what I put on under your agendas. Those are 2 new plans that came in this week that you'll be reviewing in January. One is for the edge. They have, if you want to see color copies of the buildings, that's one of the last big attachments that's in there. I have the color copies, but we don't have a color copier. So if you want to see how they've restructured some of the buildings going in for the residences, especially for the residences, it's very, very attractive.
Nice.
Nice.
And the conditional use that's sitting in front of you is for Enzo Benzo Specialty Donuts. She's an Italian lady that makes Italian donuts,
Nice.
and she's been going like crazy cooking out of her home, and she's already state licensed for that. But now she wants an actual retail place where she doesn't have to run all over town delivering. People can then go to pick it up.
Nice.
And it's right at the 474 Portland Road. Or is it Portland Street?
Golden Street.
Portland Street, I'll get that right too. It's an old storage facility, the office section of it.
Oh, all right.
Where
Yep.
she's gonna be.
Yep.
You know the Berwick display they did, catalog they did for Christmas in Berwick? If you look at the last page, that's where she's gonna be at the bottom picture.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
gonna be her location,
Nice.
so. She's very excited. She knows she has a couple more things to do in there, but she will have it done. And she put that together in a very short amount of time, so she's very dedicated to getting this done,
Nice.
so.
Excellent.
All right, well, I think that's it for our informational items, and next is the adjournment.
If there's no further items for consideration from the esteemed Burgess Room in the depths of the Berwick Town Hall, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Time, please.
I will second that motion.
All right,
6:50, 6:51.
all right. Thank you.
Vote.
You need a vote?
Oh, yep. Roll call vote, Jerry,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Mike, yes, Phil?
Yes.
All right, good night, everyone.
Can you hit that thing?
You gotta hit the gavel.
Hit it.